Okay, so the question is, best evidence for God.
So the question that I have is from Maverick Christian. He's a good friend of mine. He was on my channel recently.
I want you guys to notice how they don't answer, not so much how they do.
He says, question for each person, what is your favorite argument for God's existence? I'm just going to be quick. I'm not going to give an explanation of it. Mine is the argument from contingency.
A transcendental argument for God's existence.
Variations of the moral argument.
I think the moral argument would be my favorite.
The moral argument.
Contingency, moral
Moral
argument.
argument's most relevant. You get most questions on the moral argument. I like the cosmological argument, though, because it gives you the most attributes of God.
I would make an argument on the irrationality of the contrary.
Oh, that sounds like a presuppositionalist. It's like, it's the only worldview that makes sense, so it has to be true.
Probably the argument from consciousness or the contingency argument, maybe the kalam. I don't know. I like a lot of them.
Well, I'll say the moral argument.
My followers will know what I'm going to say. It's the emergent universe of the digital physics argument.
That's
Want to
IP.
know more? See my video, The Emergent Universe.
I'd say the fine-tuned argument.
I hate to say I don't have a favorite. It kind of depends on the person I'm talking to. Moral argument if you push me into a corner.
But I guess if I had to pick one, either Aquinas' fifth way or the Kalam.
Okay, so we had, I think, the moral argument won out as these 12 guys. I think there was at least 7 or 8 people who said the moral argument, few contingencies, a couple kalams. Now, notice what they didn't say. The bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ is pretty good evidence for God, is it not? None of them said that. You notice what none of them said? The inner testimony of the Holy Spirit guiding them to the truth of God's existence. You notice none of them said that? Like, I understand that these might be arguments for Christianity, but don't you get a twofer here? It's really curious to me that this belief that a God exists boils down to philosophical arguments. It boils down to this. They take a cigar. It's green. They take a cigar and they say, I can prove God exists. Watch. Well, let me tell you about the cosmological argument. And if you don't like that one, I got the contingency argument. You want to know that God exists? Well, let me tell you about the moral argument. I'm not going to get out of my chair, mind you. I'm not going to do any experiments, mind you. I'm not going to show you anything, mind you. We're just going to sit back. Oh, excuse me, my cigar went out. We're just going to sit back and talk. We're just going to reason together, shall we? You sit in your chair, I'll sit in mine, and we will show, demonstrate, prove that God exists. That's all you have to do, sit in a chair and think. And poof, God exists.